Welcome to Pattern Realm. We're doing a simulcast between Empower Your Pattern and the James Hay Hendricks School of Leadership. And today I'm talking to a good friend of mine from Toastmasters, Carter. Our topic is the diamond mindset of faith. Carter, what do you think is lacking in politics and the news today?
I think what's really lacking is the occurrence of people being held accountable. I think accountability is something that definitely needs to be looked at by the American people. That needs to be looked at not just by people of faith, but atheists and theists alike. I think it's something that everyone needs to look to every politician, to every person who looks to be in a position of power, for that accountability for things that they've done, whether it be in while they were in positions of power, or whether it be things that they've done in their past that they want to account for, and just let the people know. If they've done wrong before, it should be well known. It should be well uh, addressed, and I think that it would be important for the American people to know that.
In my book I'm writing, the laws of Empower Your Pattern, I think the accountability is part of it because rule number three says success leaves clues. And while this is not necessarily a simulcast that is in favor of political parties necessary, but one thing I might say is that we've abandoned principles. Carter, what do you think should replace fear and anger in the news?
I think it should be hope and a new way forward. I know there's a lot of politicians in the past. Barack Obama, for example, he ran on the example of hope. That was his campaign slogan. He wanted it to be a new way forward, turning a page, a lot like Kamala Harris currently. And I think that this is definitely something that's heated. That people look at it as a good thing, but it's obviously something that you say in the moment. And I think to find a politician or even people in positions of power, not even necessarily a politician, that have the capability of saying that and meaning what they say, it's very rare nowadays. I think being able to replace that fear, that anger with hope and a new prospect, a new way forward, that's what we need to replace in the news media, in the media outlets, and the news cycles that's going on currently. It's always the negative things. It's always the depressing stories that you hear about, and I think that that's a very unfortunate thing. I think there's a lot of good that happens in the world daily, and we don't hear about it because it's always the negative news that get the most views, the most clicks.
Truthfully, we live in a degenerate culture.
Yeah,
Carter,
absolutely.
how can we overcome the degenerate culture with faith?
I think it's all about having a strong household. I think it's all about having people in the household that give you an example of how to live. A lot of people nowadays grow up with role models that are on social media. It's all money, it's all women, it's all cars, it's all about doing what you can to make the most money for yourself. And I think that's a very degenerative aspect of our culture and has been for a long time. I think news outlets and shows and movies, these are all music, these are all aspects of a degenerate culture, which just propel the aspect that you should live for yourself, that you should live to be happy just for yourself, when in reality it's not just about you. I mean, at the end of the day, God called on us to give his word and to give people the gateway to understand that there are very positive things in the world. It doesn't have to be just your accomplishments. It doesn't just have to be the benefits that you've brought. It can be you talking about the benefits of the people around you, that people in your life have brought onto you. And I think people don't talk about that enough. I think a lot of our culture nowadays speaks more about doing things for yourself, trying to make yourself happy, when in reality, we can find happiness in our faith, and we should be able to find happiness in helping the people around us as well.
You know, um, as a person that was been an entrepreneur, I've been trying to find ways to build wealth and everything. And then I don't know why, but for some reason, I was having trouble finding a reason. And then you meet someone that you believe is going to be your life companion, and all of a sudden, that becomes your reason. Carter, how has marriage helped you go out there and do what you need to do to be successful?
I think it's shown me that my example that I just gave, that life isn't all about me. I mean, in a marriage, in a relationship, there's nothing but compromise. You can't be in a happy relationship, in a happy marriage, for that example, for that matter, if you're looking at in terms of, I want to do this for me, if you don't do this, I'm going to be unhappy. It's all about being able to compromise with one another. And it doesn't even have to be in a marriage. I mean, in friendships, in relationships that you have with coworkers. I mean, it's all about being able to understand other people's issues, what makes them tick, what makes them angry, what makes them unhappy, and what does make them happy, and also being able to express your own views. I mean, it's all about discourse, and I feel like we don't have enough discourse currently in this day and age.
I remember back when I was in college studying political science, we were talking about discourse. It was back in the 90s, back in an era where we did have discourse.
Mm-hmm.
But thanks to the degenerate culture, we don't have discourse. How can we bring people back to faith at a time like this?
I think it's all about sharing testimonies. I think it's all about telling people. A lot of people look at Christians or people from other denominations or other religions as upstanding people, and they've always been that way. But it's important for people to realize that most people that have come to faith were not always the most upright citizens. They weren't the most upright kind of people. The mentalities that they had, the things that they'd done before they came to faith, can be things that make people understand that they're not a lost cause. I think a lot of people nowadays think that religion is just for the upright, it's just for the most perfect people, and it's completely the opposite. It's meant for the ones that are downtrodden. It's meant for the ones that are weary. I mean, Jesus said, bring me your most weary, bring me your most downtrodden, and I will lift them up. And I think it's important that people understand testimonies of not just celebrities, not just people that we see every day, on movies and TV shows and stuff like that, but the people around us. To understand people's testimonies in their own personal lives is a very crucial part of being able to understand each other and move forward in a positive way.
I've told friends in church, I've said, I've had, and even in Toastmasters, I've had rather a checkered past myself. And I think it helps to benefit those who are in the degenerate culture to see that there is a way out. Mm-hmm. In the last episode, I talked about getting closer to God. And it's one way to say that you believe Him, but are you walking it out? Carter, how can we walk it out on a daily basis?
I think it's all about the process of getting to the point where you can call yourself a good Christian or a good, faithful person. Religion, it's not something that happens overnight, or being a religious person is not something that happens overnight. It's a process. There's a song that I like to listen to, actually, Under Construction. And the chorus of the song literally says under construction. It's the whole basis of the song itself, and I think it's the whole basis of our religion as an individual and as a whole. I mean, we're all people. We all struggle. We all fail in many aspects of our life, but it's all about coming to the understanding that we're not perfect, that we can work day in and day out and try our best to build ourselves up and build up the people around us. And it's a process. I think it's just a matter of understanding that we're not all perfect. Not every single person you see that talks about Jesus, that talks about God, is the most perfect person. Even if they say that they are, a lot of people nowadays struggle with many things. And I think it's important to understand that.
We're driving in this series, we're driving this train of Belief Enterprise, and we're near the end of the bonus content pretty soon. But one thing I want to say is this: there's a song in my faith. It's called The Test. And part of the chorus is, after the trials, we will be blessed, but this life is the test. Mm-hmm. We are tested to see whether we're righteous or whether we will not be righteous. Mm-hmm. Carter, thank you for coming today and having this wonderful interview.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Jimmy. I appreciate you having me out, and I hope that your listeners gain something from the conversation.
Thank you very much. Now, with this, I hope you enjoy watching or listening. If you like what you hear, please subscribe, become a part. And until next time, don't sit there and take it. Build your dreams so you can take it. Have hope, folks. And do what others don't so you can be what others won't. And do what others won't so you can have it others can't. Choose, act, and pursue happiness. God bless you. Remember this, from the bottom of my heart, Jimmy loves you. I really, really, really love you. God bless you, and please have a blessed day.
Amen.
And video.